Listen. Shout out to all the New York Knicks fans around the world. Listen, you are rocking with Flight Sports TV. It's Knicks Tape 516212. Shout out all your area codes in the chat. Salute to the whole New York City. Everybody rocking with the New York Knicks. Upstate New York, everybody rocking with NY, all the way up to Buffalo, Rochester, all in between. This is New York at its finest. Now, listen, the New York Knicks have been linked to the big man out in Minnesota, Karl Anthony Towns. We all know the situation with him. He's in a situation where he has a young superstar on the rise out there in Anthony Edwards. It's only a matter of time before the Minnesota Timberwolves pull the trigger and, build around that young asset. Now, the New York Knicks have a collection of young pieces and different things that they can send off to Minnesota. We're going to get into it. But the key question is, should the New York Knicks go in on a guy in Karl Anthony Towns? This man averaged 20 points per game last season. He shot 49% from the field, 36% from three, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. This man has definitely expanded his game. Now, the Knicks have some pieces, like I said, the Julius Randles of the world, many others, and we're going to get all into it. Also, I'm here to break the news to you that Tom Thibodeau and Karl Anthony Towns have repaired their relationship. So don't be surprised if something goes down. It's Flight Sports. Listen, I got my man Teamwork in the building. What's the deal, Teamwork? It's Flight Sports. You see what's going on. Shout out New York City. What's the deal with the New York Knicks and the whole status right now in the Eastern Conference? You see what's going on with Milwaukee. You see what's going on with Boston. They just made major moves, Teamwork. You talking Dame, you talking Drew. What do the New York Knicks have to do, either presently constructed or getting other pieces? How can they compete in this Eastern Conference?
First off, I'm say shout out to Flight Sports TV. I've been going for a minute now. I'm back. But as far as the New York Knicks, man, so we're gonna bring some good energy this season. See teams like Milwaukee Bucks, they just added a new piece to their roster. They lost a key piece, so I feel like they kind of in the building stage. They got the juggernaut Giannis on board. They got Middleton. Middleton's still out. I'm not too sure what's the timetable on his return, but I feel like they still got some working to do. I feel like us as the New York Knicks, we got our stuff together. Last season was a learning season. We had just got, fresh new point guard. Our reserve quick was bringing it to the table. So I feel like this year we definitely could go further.
Yeah, definitely. Just like you said, you brought up that point guard, Jalen Brunson. He completely changed life for the New York Knicks. He played in USA basketball over the summer. Do you see an all-star situation on the rise for him? Because he shocked everybody. Don't you see him taking the next step this season?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. He was just getting his feet wet last season. This season is all up in the air. Now we know what he could do. It's not going to be no surprises, no real. Of course, he's going to always have some ooh ahs in the building, but it's not going to be a shock like how it hit us last season. It's not going to be a shell shock.
Right. That's what I'm saying. See, the Knicks, they did a lot of different things. They moved Obi Toppin. We'll get into that as well. But the New York Knicks, the Karl Anthony Towns sweepstakes has been floating through the airways in New York City. The Knicks, they passed up on so many stars. They didn't go all in. What do you think the Knicks, depending on how the season goes, let's say Minnesota, things don't get off to the start they wanted to. The Knicks, who knows what happens? They trying to swing for the fences. Would you approve for a deal for the Knicks to acquire Karl Anthony Towns?
Not really. I'm not. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of Cat. I think Cat is a tremendous player, tremendous talent. My main worry would be what would we have to sacrifice to get him, and if it's sacrificing too much or sacrificing one of our great reserves, because that's what I think we really strong at is with our bench. Our bench is a basically our real heart of the team. Don't get me wrong, the starters, of course, they hold it down, but we got some great reserves, and I'm not trying to see any of them go. Well, at least some of the main guys go. You know.
Yeah, like the Quickleys of the world. We got Quentin Grimes. There's some pieces on that bench. You got Mitchell Robinson, depending on which way they do with him. I definitely like Mitch. Speaking of Mitchell Robinson teamwork, Mitchell Robinson name was floating out as well. It was rumors he was circulating, possibly moved in the Dame trade. The Knicks possibly could have swooped in. Not to say they was going to acquire Dame, but I heard also in the Drew Holiday deal as well that it possibly he could have been moved. Would you? Or how do you see the future of Mitchell Robinson? I see you not feeling Karl Anthony Towns, but do you think that you would rather have Mitchell Robinson and possibly Julius Randle instead of a Karl Anthony Towns? You wouldn't want the Knicks to trade maybe a Julius. Obviously, you're gonna have to give up one of these young guys. Let's say they give up quickly. Let's say they give up Julius quickly. And maybe 2 first-round picks, 2 or 3 first-round picks. Would you approve of something like that?
That's risky, but sounds feasible.
Yeah, it might be a little bit more. That's what I'm saying. We have to figure out exactly what it would take. But I think it might be another talent. I know they're not giving up RJ. Before we get out of here, what's your thoughts on RJ Barrett? He was drafted with the Zion situation. John Morant, those two guys are juggernauts in their own right. We landed RJ. When is he gonna, emerge into that all-star status? What's the future of RJ? Because I mean, what's going on?
I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with RJ, man. He need to get on his Mamba mentality. My boy need to go live in the gym. He definitely has the talent, but he doesn't have the discipline, in my opinion. We see breakout nights from him, and other nights he's just a flop. So it's like I'm not trying to downplay RJ, but RJ, I hope you're hearing this, man. Go put some more work in that gym, man.
Yeah, you definitely. You got to do something. Man. You got to emerge into that all-star that we want because you got Brunson there. You got to do something. He has too many inconsistent nights. You don't know what you're getting from RJ. You don't know if you're going to get 25, 5, or 7. And we can't have this. We got to have some consistency. He's got to have some calling card to his game. And we will be monitoring the situation very closely. In terms of RJ. So quickly, what do you see the Knicks, faring in the East? Obviously you see the 2 top teams. You got Miami out there. Outside of the 2 top teams in the Eastern Conference in Boston and Milwaukee, where do the Knicks fit in that bracket? You got the Hawks out there, like I said, Miami. Obviously teams like Indy. Other teams down there that's going to be looking to get in the mix. Where do you see the Knicks?
Well, I see them in a great spot. I see them as potentially being better, but we all know the
You
Knicks
never
got a
know.
certain type of black cloud over their head. So
Uh,
let's see how I don't want to get ahead of myself, but they have potential. They definitely have potential to be Eastern Conference champions.
yes,
Now,
they do.
now they play during the season is going to determine whether or not they got championship mentality or that championship pedigree on the team.
Yeah, that's facts. So that's
Overall, I'm not too impressed by the Bucks. Of course they got Giannis. They brought a chip to Milwaukee. Um, don't get me wrong, Dame is an ultimate competitor. So I'm not really worried about them right now because I was kind of surprised that Miami even made it. Remember, we still got to worry about Boston. Let's not forget about them. Um, I feel like it's a lot of teams in the East that has problems. That could be a problem for them. Chicago Bulls. Let's
yeah,
see how they
yeah.
play
Don't
this.
sleep on Chicago. Absolutely.
But yeah, the Knicks definitely is the top contender in the East.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see how it all shakes out this season. It's gonna be incredible. We're gonna be here. Make sure you subscribe to Flight Sports TV so you don't miss one episode. We got New York Knicks coverage coming to you all season long. This is just the beginning. Shout out my man Teamwork. Any closing remarks?
When the season starts, man, these boys better show up.
You heard what the man said. It's Flight Sports.